Hey guys, and thanks for stopping on in for today's college football pick video play for December 28th, 2017. If you're interested in getting all of our college football bowl plays, you can access those over at stumpthespread.com, linked down in the video description, and be sure to click that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. So coming into this one, I'm going to be talking about the nightcapper here between the Big Ten and the Pac-12 as Michigan State takes on Washington State. Should be a pretty competitive matchup here and an interesting contrast in style. So in this video, we're going to be talking about where we feel the better value is going to be on the over-under. Currently, the total sitting at about 46.5 to 47.5 points, somewhere in about that range, which is up about 2 to 3 points from where this opened up as about 44.5 points. And it'll be interesting to see if it continues to fluctuate here over the coming day. So Michigan State, a big surprise this year, going 9-3 overall, completely flipping their overall record on its head. They were one of the most disappointing teams in college football in 2016, but in 2017, the Spartans surprised everyone. This young, up-and-coming team looks like they have the pieces together to be a significant factor in the Big Ten for the years to come here, especially with a guy like QB Brian Lewerke, who really got his feet wet this year as a dual-threat quarterback. And Michigan State, they haven't had a whole lot of dual-threat quarterbacks in recent memory. He went on to throw for over 2,500 yards, 17 touchdowns, and of course, he was always a threat in the ground game. Michigan State, they were a team, even though they won a lot of games, they were typically in very competitive fashion, and of their 3 losses, 2 of them were not the greatest results. They were blown out by Ohio State and Notre Dame, but they also showed that they can compete against quality opposition. They beat Iowa, they beat Michigan, they beat Penn State, and then the Spartans closed things out with back-to-back wins against a bit more manageable opposition in the Big Ten East, taking down Maryland and Rutgers. But the Spartans, they play a very methodical brand of football. They like to lean on their ground game and really grind things out, play a more field possession type of contest. And as a result, this group, they only average about 23 points per game offensively, which is not very good for a team that was able to pick up 9 wins. But defensively, they were generally very stout and consistent, giving up about 20 points per game on average. And having a plus-minus of under 3 points on the positive side is pretty surprising for a team that's 9-3 overall, coming out of a conference like the Big Ten. Usually, when teams are that far above 500, they usually have a much better plus-minus, and this just shows you that Michigan State, they're one of those teams that when they get a lead, they don't necessarily press it as much as a lot of teams would. They don't mind slowing things down into the run game and leaning more on their defense in playing that field position battle. So they're going to be going against a Washington State team today that also went 9-3 overall. We feel like the Cougars were playing their best ball more towards the first half of the regular season. Down the stretch, they weren't quite as consistent. They were blown out on the road by Cal. They were blown out on the road by Arizona, and also in their regular season finale on the road against Washington. But this group also showed when they were playing up to their ceiling that they could be very competitive against quality teams. They beat Utah on the road. They beat Stanford. They beat USC. They also beat Boise State. So the Cougars also showing that they could play very well themselves. Luke Falk, the quarterback, thrown for nearly 3,600 yards and 30 touchdowns. Of course, the Cougars, a completely different mentality on the offensive side of the ball than what the Spartans have. They're second in the nation in passing compared to 129th in rushing. You know that the Spartans are going to load up and make things really difficult on the Cougars to have success in the pass game. But this group, of course, ranking 45th in the nation in scoring average, putting up about 31 or so points per game. And then defensively, pretty respectable, giving up about 24 or so points per contest, which ranks them at about 47th in the nation. So if you take these two teams' defensive numbers, you have the Washington State Cougars, who give up about 24 points per game, which is very impressive playing in the Pac-12, considering the Pac-12 is a bit more offensive-oriented league than what Michigan State faces in the Big Ten, but also the Spartans giving up about 20 points per game ranks them 23rd in the nation. You add those two numbers together, you get right at about 44 total points, but then when you add up these two teams' offensive numbers, you get a significantly higher number than what the over-under is today. The 23 points from the Spartans, added up with the 31 points from the Cougars, you get about 54 total points. So that is significantly higher than the 46.5 to 47.5 points that we're currently getting on the over-under. But we feel like Michigan State is going to have a better chance of implementing their style of play here today on the Cougars, probably slowing things down a bit more into a defensive-oriented battle. And with that being the case, we feel like the under is going to be the better play here, taking the under about 46.5 to 47.5 points. And if you guys are interested in getting all of our college football plays, you can access those over at stumpthespread.com, linked down in the video description. If you agree with this pick video play, consider giving that video a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down if you disagree, and click that subscribe button on our YouTube channel to continue to get all of our college football pick video plays. Thanks for stopping on in. We hope to see you guys in future videos. Bye.